Hi, it's Anne again. Happy to be calling in from the traditional, ancestral, and unceded Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh territories. This is my presentation, Two-Eyed Seeing and Naturopathic Medicine. Two-eyed seeing is a term coined by Mi'kmaq elder Albert Marshall, referring to learning to see from one eye with strengths of indigenous ways of knowing, and from the other eye with strengths of Western ways of knowing, and using both of these eyes together. In my research for this project, I had the privilege of chatting with two indigenous individuals. First is Métis music and English teacher Emma Heath Engel, whose master's thesis, Dismantling Oppression, Deconstructing Psychosis, I had mentioned in last term's A&M 200 final project. And the second is Dr. Sarah Connors, a naturopathic doctor in Ontario with blended Mohawk, Irish, and Ukrainian ancestry, whose practice is centered around two-eyed seeing. One thing Emma shared with me at the very beginning of our chat is that although two-eyed seeing was such a core component of her thesis, she had kind of forgotten the actual term. As for her, it is just how she grew up and how she moves about the world, being born with one eye from her European heritage and one eye from her Métis heritage, so to speak. This connects to Dr. Sarah's experience of her blended ancestry, informing how she approaches everything, being settler and indigenous at the same time, oppressed and oppressor at the same time, which can be very hard to navigate. This leads to how Emma proposed what she says as multi-eyed seeing, and Dr. Sarah suggested it's really thousands or trillions of eyes. So how does this relate to naturopathic medicine? By adopting or incorporating two-eyed seeing in naturopathic medicine, it offers opportunities for anti-oppressive actions within clinical scenarios, not only at the individual level, but also the community and public health level. Indigenous people and culture have been a victim of colonization and oppression for centuries, and only now is Canada slowly working towards reconciliation and decolonizing systems put in place designed to disadvantage Indigenous people and other marginalized populations. Moving beyond anti-oppression and decolonization is re-indigenizing our culture and practices. I believe naturopathic medicine can be the perfect place for that to happen. This is where intersectionality, and as Dr. Sarah put it, interconnectivity and the pluralism of naturopathic medicine and humanity come into play. Is naturopathic medicine inherently two-eyed seeing? Yes and no. I think at its core, it definitely is two-eyed seeing, with it being a constellation of various therapeutic modalities. But based on my experience in naturopathic medical school and Dr. Sarah's experience in practice, we're losing some of that in our current educational systems in order to fit in with conventional models in our efforts to be accepted. Some modalities are disappearing, becoming courses that students simply try to get through. We receive next to no teaching on spiritual health, when holistically, it really should be included in the biopsychosocial spiritual model of health. When things are not Western double-blind randomized controlled trial studies, it loses validity in the modern science perspective. But what is right, and what is true? In Dr. Sarah's eyes, it is saddening to see the medicine becoming more and more narrow. We're becoming a very pale version of what can be a very rich naturopathic medicine. Not any one approach is going to be a perfect fit. We risk losing the heart and spirit of naturopathic medicine, losing how it is intended to exist. She says, we ought to recognize where they excel and where we excel. We don't have to throw out one for another or vice versa. Which leads to why two-eyed seeing is the perfect way to practice that. See with one eye the art and wisdom of ancient medicine, and with the other eye the rigors of modern science. There's still a very long way to go in terms of decolonizing and re-indigenizing medicine and healthcare. In my two eyes, I see naturopathic medicine as the stepping stone, if not the path towards that. Two-eyed seeing from Dr. Sarah's point of view is that it is what Creator has gifted her and what her ancestors have gifted her. She draws an example of initially trying to keep her birth doula work and naturopathic practice independent from each other, only to realize soon after that they cannot be separated. It all becomes part of the toolbox or bundle, she said. For me, it means connecting to my roots of traditional Chinese medicine and interconnecting it with my upbringing in multiple cultures and being a humble learner of indigenous ways of knowing if I am privileged to be invited into that knowledge. To wrap up, I'll leave you with what Dr. Sarah shared with me. Worldviews are just like constellations in the galaxies and the universe, constantly shifting and moving around. So, if I may suggest, perhaps it is infinite-eyed seeing.